Elimination final. The end is nigh for one of these sides in season 2000. Who is it going to be? Bo McDonald to contest the ruck with Scotty Wine. McDonald wins at Liberatory, low to the pack. Oh, that was an errant hand pass that could prove costly. Ashcroft gave it to Voss. Voss goes up towards full forward, and a strong one grab is taken by Malloy. Well, it started smack bang in the middle.
And always dangerous when you tap the ball or handball the ball backwards in a centre bounce scenario.
Malloy has missed.
Oh, dearie me.
Well, that is incredulous.
But it is always, Sandy, one of the key ingredients of an upset loss. That you have your opportunities and you just don't take them, and all of a sudden the other side gets a sniff and their confidence grows.
They are on their way to kicking themselves out of it, and I would imagine great relief for the 250 gamer Tony Liberatore. Power sees it over the line.
And that little dance contest, boys, is still going on down back with Ackermanis, Eagleton. Now Chrissy Johnson's joining with young Josh Malone. So a nice little dance routine going down there down back.
Must be almost time to change partners.
Yes, and well,
I think that's the aim of the event.
Yeah, here's Power backing himself. Little kick round the corner.
Great ball.
Black slip, went to ground. Here's Lappin coming in with Romero. Lepic with some strength. Quick little give from Brett Voss. Missed his brother, but Simon Black now a chance. Squaring the ball up. Malloy a chance to atone, but he just can't get there. Hart socking off the ground. It's still inside the lines. Forward 50. Crediac will want the boundary. No, he forced up the line. Clever in the end. Now Croft gets it over the boundary. So perhaps a little bit risky from Crediac by keeping it in, but the desired result for the Bulldogs is a boundary throw-in. Croft has had his hands full with Lynch, who kicked 3 in the first half. McDonald in front of Wine. Got it to Bolton. Gets some time, runs to 50, just chips it up towards Lynch, and it's going to go short. Cox is now on Lynch, and Cox, who kicked 2 goals in the first half, breaks. Beautiful kick to Liberatore. He's on the wing. He's got some time. Black won't get there. Libba turned it around. Grant lost Lepic there. 60 metres out. Romero running for him on the other side. He decides to switch it around. The kick is low, right down low. Hudson, here's chance for Hunter. That's a tough kick from there. He centres it back. In comes Josh Marnie, and in he goes for the first goal of the second half.
Well, that's as good as a 2-goal turnaround, isn't it?
Yeah, Malloy misses at one end, Marnie goals at the other.
Yeah, it was interesting how Libba ended up with the ball. Actually peeled off the pack as Black tried to go forward, and that's how it all started. And then a good kick into Grant, and then eventually to Marnie. And well, I think we've said a few times, they're certainly not out of it. We've all seen them play better than what they're doing. Sometimes the opposition does that to you. Sometimes it's just your own personnel. However, they're still in it.
We're back to a 10-point margin here at the Gabba. Marnie gets his first. McDonald and Wine, won by the latter. Liberatore stands in front of the galloping hordes with absolute courage that we know he possesses and wins himself a free kick. Smith breaks from the half-back line. He thought about him, and he still thinks about him. Now, much shorter. Romero is also short, but he looks to go longer towards Smith and Marnie. And it is Hudson who comes out ahead of them, who takes the mark. Had Josh Marnie in front of him, Hudson just steamed through. Haven't seen a lot of him tonight. Spent time on the bench, but he's a final specialist. This is his 13th final. He's kicked 36 goals for the season, and really, he's very, very dependable normally. Something strange in the air at the Gabba here tonight when it comes to kicking goals.
Well, the Bulldogs effectively are only in this position because of the kicking of Paul Hudson. That goal at Colonial Stadium against the Magpies that put them in front, in the end, won them their spot.
Ackermanis in the back pocket. Back to a single-figure margin, 9 points. Jason Ackermanis towards his mate Justin Lepic, who's been excellent. Off he goes to Brett Voss. Another one away towards Simon Black. Spears the pass in towards Lynch. Gee, he did well then, but then he threw it away. And he's been pinged. No question of that. He had one arm held, and he was forced to throw it. And the Dogs are going to have to come back, and that's unfortunate for them because they could have really set something up on that outer side. Croft still eyeing that area. Looks towards the middle now. And that's going to be okay. In fact, that was almost too easy then for Trent Bartlett against his old side. Lappin, almost indecision there between two lines. Comes wide to Robbins from Romero. He's beaten one, goes back to Jose. Quickly onto his boot, down towards the forward line. Hard on the last line, couldn't take it. Voss, not too tidy. Grant might make him pay. And he does with another one. The Doggies are back in business. Grant gets his second. 2 quick goals, and suddenly they're set to challenge.
Set to challenge. They're in trouble here. The Lions have they've cooled down at half-time, and that's a really bad sign that they've gone down and they haven't come out mentally fired up. And then when they miss a goal, all of a sudden the confidence just drops a little bit. And the Bulldogs, well, they're still playing just reasonable footy, but they've kicked the first 2.
Matthews, arms folded, body language very appropriate there. 3 points the margin, and the Doggies, to quote you, Jared, they certainly have a sniff at the moment.
It's an interesting move after half-time. Jonathan Brown's now playing centre-half back on Trent Bartlett. Just Malloy's cooled off him and he had that shot at goal, but you just wonder that experience, perhaps of Bartlett, a bit older. Certainly not. The lads played a fair bit in the forward line, Brown.
Robbins, quick kick forward inside the 50 once again. Here's Brown and Bartlett coming out Hudson. He missed one he normally should have kicked, and he turns it around, but it's not going to make it, or is it? It's touched on the line by Sean Hart.
Gee, had Rowan Smith alone.
So they're doing all the attacking now, the Western Bulldogs. They get the margin from 15 points at half-time, now to 2.
Ackermanis has been told to get into the action. He's been resting on that half-forward line. I'm sure Lee Matthews wants him up around the footy.
White, little kick. Brown, another error from Brisbane. Well, Robbins probably could have made them pay. Lappin now to Black. Lynch will be the target. No, falls short. Bolton doesn't take it. Looks up. Here's Ackermanis. What can he do? He runs it around. He kicks long. Well, he hooked it too far. And it's going to be... It falls out of the back from Brett Boss. Over to Luke Power. And goal number 50 for Luke Power.
That one down and Lethal Lee. Ackermanis up into the middle, and he created it. Well, that was a pretty good turnover on the half-forward line for the Bulldogs, a costly one. And Nigel Lappin, who can also lift a couple of cogs, got them running again. Good give off there to Luke Power, who with 50 goals, that is an outstanding performance from a small forward.
Welcome back. And Terry Wallace again caused to ponder after Luke Power becomes the 3rd line to join the 50 goal kicking club for the season. Great effort. Black beautifully floats it out wide. That was towards Johnson. He gives it away to Lepic, who kicks towards Bolton on the half forward line. Brown leads in the race. Bolton on his hammer. Brown running out of room. Hugs the boundary line and gains probably 25 metres. A throw in on centre wing.
Sandy, just winning the ball out the centre there. I mean, if Lepic actually looked down the middle, he would have seen there were 3 or 4 Brisbane players going towards goal. Well, it's interesting how some blokes just don't get that vision, do they?
Just saw the runner, Craig Starcevich, out with Jonathan Brown.
Lappin, delightfully done. The Voss boys combine. Lepic is running down from half-back. He loves this. One bounce and he's 70 metres out. Oh, he's belted that. But he's pulled it to the left. That's, you guessed it, another behind.
But he's exciting when he goes.
Oh, he's fantastic. This is the thing with this Brisbane Lions outfit. They've got so many exciting players when they are going and capable of going.
Brad Johnson looks like he's talked his way back onto the field too. He had a discussion with the club doctor and assured him that he was okay to go back on. He's waiting to go back on now.
There's no doubt, though, that Terry Wallace is trying to isolate Trent Bartlett against Johnson.
Brown to the outer side. Here it is. Here's Brown and Bartlett, as Jared mentioned. Lepic, a little bit slow, but he had the presence of mind to find Ashcroft back in the middle. His kick should find the target. Lynch over the top. There's 2 or 3 players if he can turn around. Now, no, doesn't spot it. Malloy's his target, leading into the hole. No, numbers there for the Dogs. Cox spoils. Here's the D9 on the rebound. He bounces off one. He turns around. He hooks it from 45 metres to the goal square. And it's to the right again. So So another behind to Jared Malloy. 1 goal, 4 for the evening. And there is Brad Johnson. Still, well, as Paul said, he's talked his way into it.
Doing a Rod Carter impersonation.
Scotty Wine's gone to full forward, guys, too, and Bo McDonald's gone down there with him, so that's certainly an unusual move from Terry Wallace.
Back to a 10-point margin. Lappin and Croft, the latter spoiling, but well kept in play and kicked towards Garlick. It's going to be okay. Simon Garlick looking to draw the player. Eventually takes his kick towards Grant. Grant is on right half forward, didn't take the mark. The door's going to open again for Leppich. Look out, Grant will go again. He got rid of it with a handball. Grant eventually tidying up, but perhaps what he wouldn't have been too happy with. And we've got another throw. 10-point ball game. The Lions leading. Remember, no tomorrow for the losers. Marnie, McDonald, Black. It's very clever the way he can pull a ball back so close to the line. He in turn gains 35 metres as well.
Interesting. I'm just trying to find Luke Darcy on the ground, but he's not there as the other ruckman. No. I've got a funny idea. Rowan Smith is actually being the decoy ruckman. Wine goes forward. Smith plays a kick behind the game just to try and set the play up. Pretty interesting ploy.
Wind again. It's not a good throw in. Ackermanis is at the front of the pack and somehow gets clear. Kicks towards centre half forward. Chopped off, however, and pushed in towards the middle by Contessa. Mark is a good one by Nathan Eagleton. Now he's got a few players out on that other side. One of them is this loose player, Rowan Smith. Penetrating hand pass towards Johnson. Just back out on the ground. He gets crunched again, but he gets his kick away and it slams into the base of the post.
Tell you what, there was a collective scream from the the Western Bulldogs club doctors down here when Johnson got cleaned up then.
He's been in the wars, hasn't he, Rosie?
First time he went near the ball. The kick has to come back, and the runner, or the physio, is actually out to Johnson, just checking with him.
Brucey, was there an update at all on Chris Scott?
You haven't actually seen him back out here. I'll check on that for you, Jared.
So it's a 9-point ball game. Brisbane Lions 61, the Western Bulldogs 52.
Oh, there's a set play there. Scott Wine's going off, I think, with the blood rule.
Yep.
The set play was all the Brisbane players and all the Western Bulldogs players are in one quadrant of the ground, one side of it, as we talk. And Leppich was about to bolt the other side. And unfortunately, someone's called the blood rule.
So what do you do now, Malcolm? You just cancel that set play and go back to another set play, or just play it as you call it, as you see it?
No, there might be a second one. Sometimes when you set these up, you might have a second one. So someone like a quick one, Justin Lappin or someone like that.
Nigel Lappin.
Nigel Lappin. Going beautifully here.
As we see Scotty Wine going off. And so here they go. And it's towards brown and white. A couple of colours to pick from. And it's over the boundary line. McDonald going to ground.
And picked up by Black.
Very good. Colourful football.
Matty just checked on Chris Scott. They said obviously it is a hamstring. They're not sure how bad it is, but it's enough to keep him out.
Yep, no question of that. If you've just tuned in, Chris Scott left the arena in the first half, but Michael Voss looking to set up something here with Johnson and co. He tries to thread it to Lappin and is successful. Got to get round Johnson, and he does so now. Lappin 70 metres out. That's a poor option. Turned over to Contessa, and he might make him pay a hefty price. Goes in towards Jose Romero. Romero wide to the outer side, and this time he finds Darcy. Back out on the ground is the loping left footer. Centering ball in towards Bartlett. White is there as well. Out the back it will be Lawrence defending against Hudson. Lawrence quite happy to see it towards the line, and in the end he concede a behind.
Jared Malloy is just indicating to Nigel Lappin in the kindest possible terms to get the ball deeper and longer. They've got a couple of tall forwards down there. They're not being serviced all that well. And you're right, Bloody. Rowan Smith is the loose player across the half back line for the Bulldogs, and it's left Chris Johnson as the loose player for the Brisbane Lions.
8 points is the margin. McDonald, that's a fine mark. To Lappin.
Here they go.
Short to Ackermanis now. He's got Voss running here, and he can go. It wasn't a good hand pass, but Voss made it look good, as he always does. Power can't get clear. There was holding on from both. Power's very quick to pick himself up. Contessa's there in front and he's very tough to beat. Lynch is in front of the pack. That is an awful kick by Alistair Lynch. And a shocking turnover. We'll see Rowan Smith give it to the outer side. And away goes Nathan Brown.
He spent some time on the bench, but he's back out there now. He's trying to draw the player. Here they've got Johnson, and here's the running Rowan Smith. Takes a bounce, gets tremendous depth with his kick. This is no question of that. Up towards Hudson, he just went to ground. All he needed to do was stand on his feet. Lappin's in trouble, and he's going to rush it behind.
He's not the only one in trouble.
You just can't keep missing shots like that and opportunities and win a football match.
And you can't. I don't reckon you're going to let Rowan Smith run. I mean, you can put Scott Wine there and he can block you up. But if you're going to let Rowan Smith run, he will definitely hurt you.
He'll hurt you because he'll kick over a line and he'll run it. And he's such a penetrating kick.
And one of the problems is Chris Johnson, if he's the other ruckman at the other end, because the ruckmen are going together now, he's kicking off.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he can't cover the ground like Rowan Smith will.
Short to Hart, in turn to Watt. Black. So they've got it to the defensive 50. And now Bolton is the target on the wing. Sit down in front. Just not sure if Brad Johnson is 100% fit. Lynch coming out with some strength. Gets the free kick too high. There's a bit of room up forward for Malloy to run into. Getting back now is Rowan Smith. So they've filled up the hole, the Western Bulldogs. And he chips to Black. He's got Bolton inside.
Leppich is pushed down too.
And Brett Voss is on the other side. It's a shocking kick. Brisbane give it away again. Oops. And Romero didn't see Johnson coming. And Brett Voss is in there as well. Good tackle there by Darcy. West, up and under. Doesn't get far. Black coming. Hart, good takedown low. Excellent. Now Hart, he's got to play up forward. It's Bradshaw. If Crediuk turns around because the kick doesn't find him, Crediuk will search for the boundary like he always does. And, well, Jared, you're dismayed about Brisbane's wastage of the ball, if you like.
Well, it's the whole season at stake here, isn't it?
Yep.
And they've had the opportunity, I think, in the first 10 minutes of this quarter to basically put the result away.
Extraordinary disposal actions. Ashcroft goes down behind play with West. Black chips into full forward. That's back.
They've dominated this match, Sandy, yet they're 7 points in front.
8 goals, 13. Mind you, the Bulldogs are 7 goals, 12, so let's not be critical of just one side. And let's consider the pressure.
Been a lot more rushed of points, I think, for the Bulldogs in their score. And they've got a long way that they can improve, the Bulldogs.
Leppich, 45-degree angle, 35 metres. Adds another behind.
Well, it's a pocket, I hate repeating, very few players kick goals from.
Most seem to miss left.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Smith to bring it back. We've got under 10 minutes remaining in this third quarter.
I guess the beauty, Sandy, for all neutral supporters is that because of the scoreline and because of the way the game's being played, you can almost guarantee that the last quarter is just going to be an incredible battle.
Nothing sure. Garlick takes the kick in and he's on the half-back line. Malloy's manning him.
And Kingsley Hunter's just come off. Todd Curley's gone to full forward on Darryl White.
That's a good kick to Liberatore on centre wing. Going pretty well in his 250th. He chips in towards the centre and that's okay. The Dogs looking for one here and they've got the chance. Cox is still a long way out, but he's kicked a couple already. Spearing it in towards half forward. Grant couldn't take it off hands. Bartlett was there as well. Lynch now defending on the outer side. Tumbles it long and hard. He wants the boundary line, but Croft will keep it in. He's got a chance now to bring the Bulldogs back into the forward attacking zone.
He steps around Bradshaw, then belts it back to where it just came from. The big leap over the top. It was Brett Voss who read it the best. Back inside, Jonathan Brown. Short off one step. Has to be good. It is. Wasn't much room for error there. Ackermanis to the wing. There's a couple of players out there for the Lions, but it's gone wide to Johnson. Well, there's the loose player.
And Bradshaw's off too, so it's a big move from Lee Matthews. Obviously hasn't done a lot tonight, but certainly one of their key forwards.
Well, at the moment they've got Powell, one out in the goal square, and Malloy roaming 30 metres in front of him. They go back to Lynch, who seems to be well up the ground. In turn, he squares at the McDonald. He's got Leppich if he wants to use him. And there it is in the middle. Now, he might unload with a long one. No. There's 3 or 4 Bulldogs back inside the 50, forming a wall in front of Malloy.
This is what they've got better at from the last time they played against this sort of play.
Well, that kick is just set up Johnson. He's going to take it. Not a good kick from left edge. And the mark is paid, so no advantage to Hudson there on the wing. So it'll go all the way back to Brad Johnson, who got crunched again every time he goes near it.
Yes, he's going to sleep well on that plane home as Brad Johnson. Rowan Smith away from Headland towards centre wing. Lawrence read it pretty well against Hudson, and then just a subtle tap to the line will force the throw in. Daniel Bradshaw having a spell, as Paul Roos just told us. McDonald got a piece of it. Darcy didn't. Voss there. Lawrence. Oh, handball inboard. Went to Marnie, who could have been held. Lawrence tries to make amends. Voss is there. West at the bottom of the pack. Darcy eventually picks it up and gives it to Liberatore. Thought about Johnson, but then takes the kick. It's a high ball in towards half forward. Bartlett's got to beat a couple. Couple of Lions had plenty of it, but they couldn't control it. West over the top. Ashcroft is there as well. He's not 100%, but he goes again, Marcus. A full 360. Then turns around and kicks towards Lynch at half forward. Voss is there. Croft. Clever tap backwards, but to whom? Headland comes dashing clear. This is what he's shown us in the last couple of weeks. Desi can go all the way. But he sprayed it to the right, and another behind is added. 3 behinds to Headland, 203 to the Lions.
Daniel Bradshaw looks on. Great build-up then, and he's got tremendous pace, Headland, hasn't he? He's been a bit quietish, but can be dangerous.
Crediuk now for the Bulldogs, running it out the outer side. It's a good kick out towards Darcy. Just won't sit for him. Now it does. Just a bit of a stumble. Got around Brown easily. Now he goes to the 50.
Out of bounds.
Out of bounds will be the call. 9 points the margin. We've got 8-15 playing 7-12, so we've got 15 goals, 27 here at the Gabba. As a man who is renowned for kicking goals, Steve Collin prepares to enter the ground.
Needs 2 goals for his 200, Matty.
Now,
It's been 1 goal 5 to 2 goal 5 this quarter too, so there's...
The game just can't keep going at this pace. It is so slow for a final. It's incredible.
Lappin. Now, Headland runs for him. The kick is a shocker. It's going to put Headland under some pressure. It won't be good because they've got some numbers, the Bulldogs. This has to hit the body. Bolton coming late. Johnson, Bolton hangs on to it.
That's a couple of times. That's what I'm talking about. Johnson has given him 3 or 4 metres latitude, and he's got away with each time.
Here's Hudson. Holds up. Headland goes back to Croft. Well, he's made a meal of it. Headland goes again. He taps it back to Lynch. A bit of soccer work there. He perhaps should have picked that up, because all he's done is give it back to Cox. And now here's the dangerous Brown. He's got Grant to give it to on the wing. He decides to run. Brown, a left footer. Will he switch back to it? Bartlett should be his target. Croft ran on for him. Here they go now, the Bulldogs. Romero runs to 52. He kicks it. It's an open goal square. It might bounce through, but it bounces the other side of the post.
Bo McDonald's come off for a spell and Trent Noble's gone on. But gee, the Brisbane Lions skill level is really killing them at the moment. They're getting enough opportunities, but just unusually they're turning the ball over.
It was a pretty close call, that, wasn't it, with Darcy out of bounds?
Yeah, that was on the outer side just a few moments ago. History now, because Lepic has it on half-back. Been a bit of an untidy quarter. Brown.
I think one of the reasons it looks more untidy than it is, Sandy, is because Michael Voss isn't getting near the footy, although that kick didn't help.
Is that all right for untidiness?
What bloke's kicking on top of bloke's head's got me? I mean, it's one of the frustrations of football, I reckon.
Crediuk to Smith to Garlick. Short in towards half forward. Rowan Smith, proppy hand pass towards Brown. Oh, the late pick up by Croft. He eventually gets there to Liberatore. That slews off the side of the boot from Liver.
Malcolm, I want you to check this football at 3/4 time. It has got to be one of your botches.
Ashcroft in towards half forward. Another one that didn't find its target, but Lappin is lurking. They're due for something here. This time, Alistair Lynch will go back and kick for his 4th goal. Kick 2 in the first term, 1 in the second.
Why do blokes continually kick it over leading players' heads? I mean, it's one of the easiest skills in footy, I reckon.
Not everyone has won a Brownlow,
no,
has
not
won a
talking about
McGarry
that.
medal.
But that one there, just kick lower.
Coleman medal.
This is no certainty. There is enormous pressure on Alistair Lynch here to kick this goal, and he knows it.
Lynch has got the goal. Father of the Year medal did you get?
Yeah, but do you know what I mean? I'm just talking about much slower.
Tied for the Father of the Year medal.
That's fantastic. I didn't realise that. You did.
You boys want to talk about footy or what?
Yeah. I do, Malcolm. What are you going to say?
That's nice.
Look, I mean, it's one of my frustrations in footy that when blokes, look at this one, from the lower you kick it, the more chance the guy's got in it. Now, even if it runs along the ground, you've still got some hope. Over your head, you've got no hope.
Terry Wallace looking on, and just a little bite of the fingernail there from Plough. But Lynch has 4, Power has 3. Singles to Malloy and Voss.
And he needs someone like Libba to ignite his side. They've just been cruising along.
Well, Ackermanis got it because of the D9 bump up towards the goal square. Power has marked it. I don't know how he does that sometimes. But go back to Malloy. He's getting the accolades from his players. The D9 knocked him over, and he hasn't got up yet. And there's a little bit going on behind play. West is in there. Voss. Cox getting up late. Libba. Oh, Libba arrives late. But back with the ball, as you can see. A little bit of emotion bursting through. But Luke Power now kicking for his 4th goal. 2 goals in a minute to the Lions. And that's a very crucial goal.
That could bust it open. That could bust it. There's still a lot of feeling here. Power has 2 goals in this term, 2 in the second.
Well, the pattern of the game says that won't be the case. You know, the Bulldogs have always seemed to fight back, and really some great running. And Power in the goal square on Contessa is a great move. Michael Voss is pumped up. He wants to play in another final. And here it is here. Libba caught. Probably shuts low.
Good bump.
But, yeah, well, could have tackled him too. Yeah. Same result. And then that push. Great body work from Power.
Michael Voss is certainly enjoying finals footy. There he is in his 150th game. Voss 150, Lappin 150, Liberatore 250. Darcy up before acceptances. West at the bottom of the pack. Can't get clear that love 1 or 2 before 3/4 time. They've got just over 3 minutes to do it. The Doggies still in the middle. Bradshaw still having a spell. Darcy with strength, getting better as he spends more time. Out to Brown, up towards half forward. Hart leads in the race. Will slap it clear, and that was clever. Gives it off towards Johnson, and then Hart does the shepherding, and he says, go, go, go. I'll keep Eagleton at bay. Johnson continues to go. Eagleton continues to chase. Eventually gives it off to Power. Power's a left footer. Hart's lost his helmet. Power keeps going. He might lose the footy. He chips short, and it's going to be okay because Headland's taken the mark.
Well, I reckon Luke Power has broken the record for a run there. It had to be 40.
Here goes Headland, but in going for the extra distance, he's ripped that away to the left. There will be no addition to the score.
How far do you reckon he ran, Matt?
I'd say close to 40 metres. Between 35 and 40 metres.
What do you think, Malcolm? Chris Grant to full forward, get Lepich away from that half-back line where he's getting a lot of attack, and just clear everybody out and leave Grant there to lead one out.
Here's Rowan Smith. Garlick and Brown combining with him. He wants Grant, but Lepich is the stumbling block. Grant recovers well. Can't get past that. That was a fine tackle. Voss goes in with absolute strength. Out it comes towards Ackermanis. He loses it.
Oh, this is on now.
It certainly is. Hart's at the back with Eagleton. Lawrence also gets it through nicely towards Black. Pulls it back towards the centre. Scotty West is clean bowled. That's unlike West. The door opens for Johnson. Passes towards Power. Maitland Power. And he's going all right at the moment. He's caught. He breaks the tackle. 55 out. Backer can go on. But he won't. He won't. He'll go back and take his kick.
Chris Grant's in all sort of strife behind the play.
Luke Powers mentioned about Contessa, sort of the mouth before. You know, you never badmouth a good player. I don't care what anyone says.
Chris Grant's in terrible trouble. In the meantime, Ackermanis will shoot for goal. 45-degree angle, 35 metres out. He's kicked the goal. Has gets his first, and suddenly the Lions coming with a little bit of a spurt late in the quarter.
Well, it's a double whammy because Chris Grant's obviously injured with some problem, whether it looked like almost his back or it was a heavy knock to the head, but something is making him wobbly. Let's count this. Does Luke Power break the record? Oh, it's a long way.
A large concern from Bulldog supporters and their coaching panel over their champion Chris Grant. But 3 quick goals to the Lions has put a different perspective on this match. Black, who's had a magnificent third quarter. Back to contest. Here he is again, Power. That's a clever handle over to Malloy. If it sits, he's okay. He hooks it round, but he's missed everything. And Luke Power with Black have been in super form in this third quarter.
And we saw Chris Grant getting injured, and here it is once again. Now, he just bashed his head on the ground. I think that may well have been his problem.
Garlic tucked in the back pocket. Seconds ticking away towards half-time. He goes towards Cox. Brown is there with him. Keeps it in play. And that isn't possibly what he wanted because Johnson will be first to it. Proppy hand pass for Lepic. Wasn't very pretty, but Lepic can make it effective. He does so with the left foot. Kick towards Brent Voss if it sits. Voss has got to go here. West stood his ground. West did go. Garlic also. Headland sees the turnover. Off to Lappin. Proppy hand pass towards Malloy. Straight towards Brent Voss. Voss can steady. Off to Power. Power to goal. Unselfish to Lynch. It was a short hand pass. Siren has sounded. And one hand pass too many. Maybe for the Brisbane Lions. On the other hand, the Bullies breathing a massive sigh of relief. It is 3/4 time, and don't worry, there is a heap left in this game yet. Brisbane surged with 3 late goals. The Bulldogs have plenty of fight left. It's 11-15 to 7-13.
Westy a bit quieter then. Ashcroft back on him.
So here it is. One of these sides has 1/4 of football left for the season.
And Lynch to full forward only works if Bartlett stands up at centre half forward and the boys get the ball out of the middle quickly and get it in deep into their forward line.
Well, they've got a chance towards Grant now. He's taken to the ground, but they've got it inside 50. Hart had it and lost it, but gave it to Bolton. He kicks it wide to the outer side. He's searching for the line, but Marnie may get there first. The race is on. Malloy was charging at him. Ackermanis does it beautifully to Brett Voss. Voss kicks in towards the 50. Lynch came charging out. Headland was the one in between the two. Taken to the line is Johnson. Just keeps it in play. They can't afford to let the Lions get one early on. Croft marks on the half-back line.
So, relieves the pressure straight up the wing. Player on his own there is Crediuk. 26 points.
Can I say,
the
Matthew,
contract.
that they've gone 6 in the forward line too, the Bulldogs. And really, you can't kick 5 goals if you're going to put it flooding all the time, you know?
Brett Voss. Down low was Black. Good hands. It's almost standstill football there for a minute. Very static as Bolton gets it and then charges with a long kick up towards Brown. 2-on-1. Brown, it goes over the back. A chance for Lynch. Croft right with him. Uses the body well and evades him well. Well done, Matthew Croft, as he goes back to where it just came from. But that should suit Simon Black. He just nudges Liver out the way and takes an easy mark. Inboard, he's got a player, Headland. Too far out to score, you'd think. He looks laterally to see if there's an option for him there. Lynch is back in the goal square. And it's Brett Voss who ends up with it. He does go short.
Now, Scott Wine's filled up the hole at the back now. It's a traditional play here, the ruckman dropping back. That's where they just need to be smart with this kick.
Trent Noble goes to the pocket to try and draw Wind out. Scott has nothing of it, and that's up in the air. Good luck. Lynch falls over, almost marks it on the ground. Here he is again! He is amazing! 5 goals to Luke Power. They could have easily had 6 because he almost kicked one on 3/4 time. And Jared, you mentioned he's becoming one of the premier small forwards in the competition.
Oh, look, I don't think there's any doubt about that. I mean, Jeff Farmer made the All-Australian side with 60-plus goals, and Luke Power was right behind him. And, well, you just cannot believe that one bloke that size could come up with a goal when there's 3 blokes that size in the goal square.
5 goals to little Luke Power, the master in the forward line. Out of the middle again they go. West lunges but loses it. Ashcroft off to Voss. They're running now. The machine's going into cruise control. Michael Voss goes for goal. They're alive here at the Gabba. Voss can sniff another final.
Well, he was a little bit quieter in that third quarter, and I reckon he'd earned himself half a rest because he was absolutely brilliant. He'd ran himself into the ground in the first half, and he's just added a little bit of class to the match, and it has lacked a bit of poise and a little bit of class, but Michael Voss has supplied most of it.
Two goals to Michael Voss, and the margin was 26 points as light rain fall at the Gabba. As I was going to say, the margin was 26 at three-quarter time. That was the contract in front of the Bulldogs. It's now out to 38. And I don't think Lee Matthews will be too upset about the light rain falling.
No, well, I mean, this is where you're probably going to examine what the Western Bulldogs have done for the last 4 seasons now. I mean, Adelaide's beaten them twice in 2 finals. Now the Bulldogs twice in 2 finals. So
the Lions.
Really interesting. No, sorry, the Lions, yeah.
Here's Black and Liberatore once again. Malloy got it.
Oh,
here he goes again, but he's caught. Voss thought about another goal. Curley's caught by Headland. Back to Brett Voss. Done everything right when he's come on the ground once again. Chips it up to full forward. Brown waiting down his power. Can this be 6? Hang on, it's gone back to John Brown. He could kick a goal. Oh no!
he held it for a decade.
Oh dear. He was on a ride at the show there for a minute. He was spinning around that fast. But he got a point. As we have a look at the replay again, well, it was a desperate lunge. It was just the behind.
Romero towards the half-back line. Ackermanis gives chase and will keep it in play. No, the slippery ball maybe. And Acker can have a little bit of a smile. It's been on all night. They've been chatting away like there's no tomorrow. And there won't be. Quite possibly for the Dogs, the way the scoreboard's looking at the moment. Here goes Lynch now. Penetrating kick. Power's at the back. Power will go again. Around he goes. An interesting kick. A rainmaker. And that's what we've got at the moment. The behind is conceded. But he's another one of those players. When the ball gets close to him, your heart's in your mouth.
Well, he's having a great evening. He's also had a great season, as we've said a couple of times. One of the most improved players in the competition. And I guess, Malcolm, with the deficit now out to 40 points, I think it's time we perhaps started considering, but this is the last 16 minutes of Scott Wyon's career coming up.
Long kick. Sorry, Malcolm.
No, go on.
It's Power. It's Lappin. Noble. He's on the ground. Well, it's a long way out, but we've seen him kick a long way before. We've seen this man kick a long way before. On the lead is Brown. Out in front of him, he couldn't take it. Cox there. Just can't. Oh, great work by Brett Voss. Outstanding. He goes again. Johnson chips it up towards the wing. There's a couple of Vosses around here. Collingwood comes through for the Shepherd. It's still in. He did well, Johnson. He did extremely well to get to Romero. Collingwood now runs on. From a dead play, they've kept it alive. And the kick finds Grant. He plays on. He sees the goals from 50 metres. He chips it to the goal square. Lawrence and Hudson. Lawrence does well to get a hand on it. It's a tough bounce for him, though. He wants the boundary. He wants to rush it in. He's sitting on it. He knocks it back. And they're going to clear it, the Lions. Here they go. Lappin, looking for some options, runs himself into trouble, and at last they get it through half.
He skips towards Michael Voss, but a little too far out in front of the leader, and there'll be a throw-in. Yes. What are Michael Voss's stats, Malcolm?
28 touches. Yeah, Scotty Wine, what a fantastic play he was in the early 90s, and obviously a Brownlow medalist. You know, and he's really battled on manfully the last 2 or 3 years. Steve Collinock too, finishing in his last game. So yeah, it'll be a bit of a new era at the Bulldogs.
Wind down towards Brown, and now wide to Smith from 65 metres. He lets go a long bomb in towards Grant & Co. Leppich at the back. Here's a much-needed goal. Finally, they break the drought, but my word, it's taken a long, long time. Hudson gets his first.
Well, Malcolm, we've tried everything to get this game up and make it a contest, and well, we've finally drawn the final try, and that is to just write the game off.
Start talking about it as if it's over.
Start talking about it as if it's over, and who knows, the Bulldogs kick 3 or 4 quick ones, and then we've got a contest back.
Yeah.
But they'll need a few more than that.
Yeah. Well, funny things that happen, you know, when rain comes sometimes. I mean, it sounds silly.
95 plays 61. Just under 15 minutes remaining in this game. Bulldogs would still hang on to a hope that there's still a chance.
I think the rain's cleared, Malcolm.
Yeah, slippery ball, though, changes the game sometimes. Players running behind end up with a footy sometimes.
Wind, clever, but Ackermanis was in the road. He hits it in hope. He gave it to Smith. Smith, here's the D9. Hello, I've got it. Get out of my way. But he gives it up. Johnson, caught by Black. Brown, quick kick out the wing. They've got the numbers now, the Bulldogs. They should really score a goal here. Garlick running, drawing the player, chipping to the 50. Inside is Bartlett. Thinks about it and decides against. Will he pass off? Romero wants it, but no, Bartlett's going to go back and have a shot. Trent Bartlett hasn't got a goal this evening.
Funny old game, you know. They get a couple quickly. Who knows what could happen?
Well, it was 40 points. This to bring it back to 28. Trent Bartlett searching for his first goal. It looks okay off the boot. It's there, so they get it back to 28 points.
Well, they've got nothing to lose now, the Bulldogs, so might as well just have a crack.
Really? Just have a crack.
Well, let's just go back to playing good footy. Well, it's the first time I've seen them running in numbers. I realised the ball got over the back of a line of Brisbane Lions by virtue of a turnover, but we haven't seen them running in those sort of numbers for most of the evening.
Back to a 28-point margin. Under 14 minutes remaining. Well, there is time, but it's going to require a supreme effort. And Voss charges the Lions into attack. There's a big clash of bodies. Ackermanis gets taken to the ground. West defends and he gives it to Liberatore. The Dogs won't lie down. Don't worry about that. They will fight to the bitter end. Big spoil by Daniel White. Back in towards the centre. Johnson like lightning to Romero. Romero goes wide to the outer side. Curley and Brown are both there. Brown 65 metres out. Eyes Bartlett in at full forward once more. Can't take it cleanly. The big man goes through and somehow gets it to Lawrence. Lawrence comes wide into Bolton. The Lions have got a bit of breathing space. Bolton thinks about the middle. He's got players darting here, there and everywhere. Pinpoints Ackermanis on right half forward. The lead's on. Here comes Lynch on the 50. Takes it in front of the eyes. In fact, he's outside 50. He's on a pretty precarious angle. It would be a team-lifting goal should he kick it.
Roosie, you know him better than anyone. Is he capable of kicking this?
Yeah, he'll pass it.
Thanks, Paul.
Yeah, beautifully done. Yeah, beautifully done, boys.
Lovely pause. And
I taught him that one.
Good on you, Brucey. He did pass to Ashcroft, who's a little further out.
Darryl White's a bit crook behind play too, fellas. They're looking at his arm or his elbow, his finger, I think.
Now Lynch has got it again, Roosie, just to keep you up to date. This time he's further out.
I can tell you he won't kick this, that's for sure. Over the boundary line, maybe.
Well, he's going to full forward into the square, and it's a good-looking kick too. Oh, Beloy had it for a moment, socket off the ground, but wide and a behind.
Yeah, Darryl White's had some problems with that thumb, as we know. He's dislocated that a couple of weeks ago, so they were having a look at that. Luke Powell getting another behind. Margin 29 points.
You'd think with these kickouts now too, fellas, they really need to just go straight down the middle, maybe with Scotty Wine knocking it on, just to really take some risks now.
Wind leads to the outer side. Noble sees him coming as Cox will go short and pick up Todd Curley. And again, they've got some numbers here. Garlick proving elusive in this last quarter. Goes down the boundary. White testing out that thumb. Spoils. A little bit of a grimace there from Dow. That is hurting. And it is another boundary throw-in. Just under 12 minutes remaining in this match. Both teams.
They just can't afford to go too wide, though, can they, fellas? I mean, they're a long way behind. They really need to go down the middle of the ground now and just take some risks.
Well, here's West. Never stop giving up. In and under. Ball up. No one going anywhere.
One of the troubles with that, of course, if you played one way the whole season virtually, it's just so hard to click it back in, isn't it? I mean,
just
it
like
was
that.
quite. Once again, the kick was far too high, you know, to Bartlett. So easy punch away. So not very inventive. When you get a free one like that, you should be inventive, I reckon.
The winner of this game to play the loser of the Carlton-Melbourne clash. Garlick takes it from wide. Needs support and gets it through Brown. Short to Johnson, who's back in towards the middle. Johnson goes close to Headland, who was the man on the mark, but he finds Grant only for a moment. Johnson overruns it. Kolyanook could sniff a goal a mile away. Gives it to Grant again. He's kicked some miracle goals in his time. Hudson, one grab, and then over the line to behind.
I think Chris is look at White. Grant kicked his goal last week, didn't he? That miracle goal.
Yeah.
Not to be tonight.
White's just got to play through with that injury. That's something that won't heal quickly. If you get the chance to play in a final, you're not going to worry about that. Johnson,
Great kick.
beautifully to Bolton.
Stood next to the umpire.
And Bolton thought about Headland, but then changes direction. Comes towards Ackermanis. A long way from home. White lurking dangerously. Black is there as well. All the colours. Brown too. Malloy wide and short. The Headland lead is ignored. Instead he goes longer. Lynch is in the pack at the back. Waiting down in front. Johnson tucks it under his arm and comes clear. Back towards Bartlett, but it drops short. Ackermanis sees it ricochet away. Trying to go through was Malloy. He was taken high. And that hurt. And did that do something to that knee? Don't tell me. Let's hope that he's going to be okay.
Just a couple of weeks ago, Matthew, wasn't he? And he come back beautifully, but
Yeah, it's just at the end of the game, the St Kilda game.
Well, he's going to take the kick and just get it away quickly with a hand pass to Darryl White. Surely he should be taken from the ground now.
Didn't look anything structural, though.
No.
No, well, in fact, he's jogging towards the action, so he may be okay. Let's hope so for the Lions and for Jared Malloy's sake, as Liberatore has the ball on half-back.
And Libber goes pretty direct towards Grant. Lepich is right with him. He's done a supreme job, Lepich. Brown to Bolton, look out. Gets up and under it, and that's just going to suit Robbins. So Bolton's disposal is, well, it's been questionable at times today. He's given a few up. Robbins chips it into the middle. Chris Grant, well down the ground. And we've got White floating back now. So they've had to come up the ground to get their possessions. Curley now.
Elgin, the Brisbane Lions have had this game basically in their control for most of the evening, and yet the energy level of the Bulldogs just doesn't appear to be what I guess we've come to expect of them right throughout a number of seasons.
Touched off the boot by Johnson. Goes towards Lappin. You can ponder that Mountain and come back to it as Lappin gives it over towards White, enjoying a bit of a purple patch. He's got Headland or Lepich, and he had Hart short. Now White running, Lepich on the wing. The long handball suits him. He's away now. Lynch is his target up forward, but he's trying to draw a line to Headland. Headland will turn around and see about 3 Bulldogs. He gives it over the top to Malloy. This will test his knee out. That's not that flash. He'll look around Desi Headland and go, perhaps not. That's my best. No, he's concentrating on his knee. Malcolm?
well, I mean, I always reckon you had 2 goals in a game of footy. If you had 2 goals, the Bulldogs score now quickly, things can change dramatically in 5 minutes. One of the problems they're doing, I mean, they're just not getting it through half-forward line because they haven't played that way for so long.
Doesn't look good though if you had 2 goals the Lions score.
Not at all.
Also,
Bolton, a high kick in towards half forward. Brown was aggressive at the ball. Black, always clever. In towards Lynch. Look out because Power will be lurking. One more behind goes on the board. 13 goals, 19.
Sandy, Cox has come off for the Bulldogs. He has had a guard on his left forearm. The doctor's taken it off and is having a little bit of a look.
Thank you, Vic. Victoria Carthy on the boundary line.
Look, I reckon they should take Jared Malloy off.
He can hardly move. I was just looking at him, Malcolm. That's ludicrous, isn't it? To keep a player like that on the ground when it would appear you've got the game in control. Beautiful. Speaking of control, that was beautifully done by Brett Voss. Curly, you're running into a brick wall and you're gone. Desi Headland works hard, comes in over the top. Well, the umpire said he gave away a free kick, Brian Sheehan.
This is it. Got to be a goal from this. Otherwise, it is curtains.
Garlic. Still a long, long way out. Gives it back quickly towards Brown. Now you need a goal from Johnson or you need a mark from Grant. Someone down there, and it's Grant who's taken the mark.
Get the next one out the centre, and they're back in it. I mean, well, still a long chance.
Long chance. I think that still just the body language. It doesn't look as if enough Bulldog players look as if they can. They think they can win this match.
Grant kicking for his third. Been a magnificent player, 3 times All-Australian. 28 goals in finals. Malloy's off. And just a closer inspection of that knee. A big moment for the 27-year-old from Daylesford, though. He's got to kick this goal.
Fairly loose that joint by the look of it.
He's done the day before.
Grant for goal. He's got it. I reckon he's got it. There's bone silence and he's got it.
Where's the energy? Where's the energy, Sandy? I mean, he's kicked the goal. There's 8 minutes of playroom, only not one bloke ran over to him and said, hey, we're still half a chance here. We've done this before.
It's interesting too, Jared, you mentioned that down here on the Bulldogs bench, it's exactly the same. There's not one player, not one person, not one staff member up off their feet cheering or anything like that. It really is flat. It's almost as they've given up the ghost already.
Yeah, the body language. I'm not sure how it is over there with you, Roosie. I know you're close to the bench, but nobody ran to Chris Grant there and said, we can win this.
Let's see what happens out of the centre this time. Another one here, and they can really feel they're back in business. They get it down towards the half-forward line. Lappin's got his skates on. They're not a bad pair either because he's moving beautifully. Comes back towards half-back, goes across the ground. Power is the danger man there. Recovers well. Still on half-back. Luke Power. Time to steady. Thinking perhaps of possession. A lot more footy left yet. Power's cramped up. Finds Johnson. Johnson goes short to Brett Voss. Or Beau McDonald. It's Brett Voss, the target. Hudson in late. Voss has the footy on the defensive side of centre.
So when they're at that last centre bounce, you just can't get beaten. You know what I mean? There's some will in a game of footy, I reckon, if you're going to make a presence into it. Lawrence
kicks up towards the half-forward line. Waiting down is Black. Gets clear and gets the hand pass away towards Leppich. He can sniff a goal. Leppich is a long way out. He bends it back. It's a good-looking kick. It's a lovely kick in towards goal and off hands and through from behind.
I reckon, guys, Alistair Lynch has just been fantastic tonight. The number of times he's actually competed against 2 and 3 opponents, allowing the ball to be brought to the ground. I know he's kicked 4 goals, but his work has been exceptional.
11 marks to Alistair Lynch. And it's 4 straight kicks at the moment. And we've got 6 minutes remaining in the game. Here's Scotty West. And he just chips along the line looking for Wine. Gets him. Playing on now. Inside to Johnson. Trying to create some momentum. Build things up. Leppich arrives late with the grab. Leppich plays for a free kick.
Got it.
And got it.
Look at where the ball is, though.
Right down the wing, out wide. With... well, there's Jared has mentioned a few times now, if you're playing urgent, I guess you go straight down the middle or much more direct towards centre forward. Leppich tells Lappin to just walk over there and have it back.
Get the stats up.
Stats will be up, but from the Lions' point of view, it's too early to wind the clock down, but
do it again.
They're maintaining possession. The ball is in their hands, and that's the desired result for them at the moment.
Luke Power's off.
Luke Power off. We saw him cramping up not long ago. Thanks, Victoria. As Lynch. Well, Paul Ross will be happy with mark number 12. Alistair Lynch. Let's go from 60 metres. I tell you what, it's not a bad kick. It's going all the way. Oh, Roos will be ecstatic. He joins Luke Power with 5 each. And that will make it very difficult for the Bulldogs.
Couldn't imagine him putting his hands up to his throat like we saw in those promos from the game here last year, could we?
No.
Alistair, has he learnt that, has he?
I think he'd be very happy to walk off the ground a winner, because if they had walked off a loser, the Lions, I reckon it may have been played a few times.
Big game for the 32-year-old veteran. 5 goals to Alistair Lynch. 5 goals to the youngster, the 20-year-old Luke Power. The Lions' finals campaign will stay intact. Free kick out of the middle is going to go the way of the Dogs. Time against them now. West. From the defensive side of centre has the running Garlick. Garlick swings in towards half forward. Big pack of players. Waiting down was Marnie, and somehow he got clear. His snap is away to the left.
Sandy, the interesting thing, you know, in the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks, they've beaten Essendon and Carlton this time.
That's correct. Yeah, well, that is true.
And I think that Terry Wallace would have felt that, okay, they had a mental letdown last week against the Hawks. It was a costly loss because it robbed them of their second of the double chance. But I'm sure he would have been expecting the rebound. And I'm not sure the players have delivered for him.
Well, their record at this time of the year over the last 4 or 5 years has been, I'm afraid, not too good. Yes, they have made it into the finals, but they've hit a submerged log when they've reached as far as a preliminary final, and this year they're not going to get that far, sadly, for their players and staff and supporters. Lawrence goes over the top to White. Brisbane, on the other hand, a chance to keep going. Darryl White draws the play, then gives it over to Lappin. He's enjoyed his 150th. Spears it in towards the half-forward line. Wanted Desi Headland. It's okay. Michael Voss almost runs into Ackermanis. Holds it for a long time before finding Lappin again. Goes straight across the ground, and it's good because Brett Voss floated at the back and will now go back to shoot for goal directly in front, 45 out.
Yes, I think those 4 or 5 goals are probably safely over now for the Bulldogs, aren't they? It is a disappointing end again for them. And young Brett Voss, handy again.
Almost uncontested. And Voss, normally deadly in front of goal. 5 goals without a miss so far this season. 46 metres out. Now 6 goals without a miss. The Lions' finals campaign will roll on, and Lee looks to the heavens.
Yes, occasionally have a bet on footy, Jared, do you?
Oh, occasionally.
How's your money looking tonight?
Pretty happy with tonight's result.
Really?
Could have been a slightly better, Malcolm, but I'm actually, I don't think the Lions have played great footy, but they've had a convincing win. And I think it says a hell of a lot about the way that the Bulldogs have attacked the ball.
His first for the evening, Brett Voss, and not to be underestimated, the handball from Michael Voss in that passage of play to get it to Nigel Lappin. In some trouble, in some traffic, still got it there. The backhander from McDonald, quickly out of the middle, Romero, going deep up forward. Lepic is pretty calm down back. Just swings it out towards the boundary. Garlick, who is getting plenty of the ball in this last quarter, sees it over the line. Johnson happy to see it go there.
Luke Power's gone for an early shower, guys, just holding on to the right hamstring.
Just to be a bit tight there. He's done a power of work.
Please.
Thank you. As here we go with Lappin. Brown quickly forward. Hudson leading Lawrence in the race to the ball, but Lawrence right with him. And same result. Well, under 2.5 minutes remaining in the Bulldog season.
And the Brisbane Lions become the wild card.
They will look on tomorrow's game with interest.
They're capable, if they can play at their best, they're certainly capable of going all the way through to the grand final.
Wind, Lawrence, here's a chance for Bartlett. Uses Hudson, spinning around, he's caught. Marnie, snap round the body's not bad, but it's not close enough, it's to the right. He's very vocal. And it's a behind. Terry Wallace He's looking down and he'll be wondering, well, there's another year gone.
102 games for 61 wins for Terry Wallace prior to tonight's contest. His counterpart Lou Matthews, over 270 games. Seasoned campaigner for now 156 victories. And his 13th final has proven to be a lucky one. They struggled in front of goal for a lot of the match, but a couple of spurts have seen them shoot away. And with Power kicking 5, with Lynch kicking 5, with Michael Voss booting 2, they're going to continue on. Bartlett in front of the Social Club that will be rocking tonight. Goes to half forward Bradshaw, the big spoiler. Eagleton couldn't pluck it out of the air. Again, the Lions have the numbers. Leppich has the footy. He's away from half back. He has been the general tonight in that area. A bullet-like hand pass from Lawrence. Back it comes towards Leppich. He's under the pump. He'll slap it to the line. No, he keeps it in play. So too does Johnson until he finds the line.
Johnson, who took that very heavy hit early. Boundary throw in just outside the forward 50 for the Bulldogs. Wind, winning that tap to Liberatore. He's caught. Brett Voss does everything right. Got it to Ackermanis. This should suit Hunter. He reads it best. Jonathan Brown will be careful there, or that'll be 50. Umpire Harvey pulling him back. Hunter now just going over to Scotty Wine.
Last kick.
Last kick. Eagleton. Brisbane Lions will say goodbye to the Gabba, and they will continue their finals run in Melbourne. As Eagleton's kick is up towards Grant, and he's going to get one on Justin right at the end. No, he's not. And a little bit ironic, really. But Leppich will be very pleased to accept this back from Chris Grant. He quickly plays on to Chris Johnson.
Had a good game, Johnson.
Yeah, he's had a good couple of months, Jared. He's really slotted in that half-back role, and he's got some work to do because Chris Scott doesn't look as though he'll be there next week. And there it is. The Lions move further next week. Coach Lee Matthews will be very happy, Sandy, and that is the end for the Bulldogs in season 2000.
Yes, another finals campaign has come to an end, but maybe one just beginning for Michael Voss. It's something new to him. It's something he has enjoyed tonight. They stay alive and now they head south to take on the loser of tomorrow's clash between Carlton and Melbourne. And let's spare a moment for Scotty Wine. The big man who made his debut in '88 from Jakarta has played 237 games and 10 finals and won the '92 Brownlow. His career is over. Scotty, well played. Let's go down to the ground, Victoria.
Thanks, Sandy. Bo McDonald, you had a lot of experience up against you tonight. Well done.
Yeah, always knew it was going to be tough, but just sort of try and run hard and see how it went, yeah.
You knew there's a lot of motivation for the Bulldogs, Scotty Wine, of course, and for Libba.
Oh, there was, mate. Scotty Wine's a great player. He's had a great career, and always knew it was going to be tough playing him, maybe being his last game, so I was pretty conscious of putting in a good effort.
Did you think tonight you were just able to wear them down?
We knew it would be tough the whole time. We just kept at it, and whether we wore them down with 5 minutes to go or in the third quarter, it didn't really matter. We just had to keep going.
And off next week?
Yeah, off there. Yeah, it'll be good.
Well done, thank you.
G'day to the Valley boys.
Yeah, g'day Valley boys. Let's go to Paul Roos.
Yeah, got Scotty Wine here. Perhaps the Carlton Essendon games, you think maybe took a little bit out of the boys. Look, just a little bit flat tonight.
Look, it's been an up and down season for us this year. We haven't played the football consistently that we wanted to. Look, they were great wins and something I'll treasure for the rest of my career, but you know, unfortunately, we just couldn't get over these plays tonight. Third quarter, we had an opportunity there. It was, first 15 minutes, we couldn't capitalise. So, mate, good luck to the Lions.
I know it's a tough night for you. I guess, from my point of view, I played with you in state footy on behalf. I guess there's a lot of Western Bulldogs fans sitting at home, and a lot of people come here today. Your teammates are here. You've absolutely been an ornament to the game, mate. It was a pleasure to play with you, and I know it's pretty tough. Obviously, as you said, you're going to have some great memories, and I suppose you look now, you've got a different career ahead of you, and you've just got to look forward to a different lifestyle.
Yeah, mate. I just like to thank the boys, myself and Steve Collinock, for their efforts over the last 13, 14 years. It's been fantastic. It's been great for me. And say hello to my family at home, Jade and Ashley and Jessica. They're probably up there watching. So Catch you tomorrow.
You have been an ornament to the game, and it has been a pleasure and good luck. Have a great night. I know it's going to be tough, but good luck, mate.
Yeah, he has been an ornament to the game. And let's not forget Steve Kolyanouk, the little dynamo wearing the number 2. Acker's probably going to give us a handstand in a minute, but Kolyanouk, the 30-year-old, has played 177 games and 198 career goals. So to Steve Kolyanouk, well done. To Scotty Wine, well done. The Acker Show continues here at the Gabba.